out of some of these boxes. All right, so we are live now. I am just going to wait a few minutes for everyone to come in the room. The comment plugin that we used to use for these applications, for these webinars, no longer is available. That's what happens with technology. It changes and we kind of have to change with it. If you are having a problem viewing this webinar, just go directly to YouTube. I am going to set this, I believe, let me see if I can set it. I don't think I can set it from, you need a link. I don't believe it's public. I believe it's listed as unlisted, which means you will have to have a link to watch in order to watch. So go ahead and you can get that link. Just make sure that you send me an email, or actually, I don't know if you can text. You can't text me because I won't be able to get you the link. But if there's anybody, my assistant, Vanessa, she will get you the link if she sees an email come through or something come through where you can't get on. And you can leave your comments on YouTube, and I will have to go back to YouTube later in order to, I will have to go back to YouTube later to answer all of your comments. So hopefully the screen that you're looking at is my slides. Oh, yeah. It's not on Facebook, yeah. No. Okay, so I have people already calling me thinking it's going to be on Facebook when it's on YouTube through my link. I wonder if she registered. Let me see if I can get her the link. So hang on just a second. I'm sorry about this. Let's see. I have to go to Trello. I should have copied it. I have it copied somewhere, but oh yeah. So yeah, the thank you page. Yeah. Okay, so we're live now. So we're just going to wait for a couple more minutes because people, they start coming in right at 8 instead of before. Let me see if I can grab these. I need the board for free webinars. Okay, so I'm going to grab this link for this one person here. So hold on. All right, YouTube Live. Let's see, broadcast page. Let me put this YouTube Live event on here. Okay. All right. Yep. So that works. All right. So hopefully everyone, I won't even be able to tell how many people are showing up or see your comments or anything right now, because what I'm doing is I'm using a product called Ecamm, and I can see comments, but I think, let me see. There is a way for me to see comments, but then, I can't see my slides. If I pull up the comments, let me just look real quick and see. Yeah, there's no comments. Let me see if I add a comment. So I just said hi. If anyone, I added that to the broadcast. So I don't know if you can see it. If you're on my webpage, you probably can't see it. If you're on YouTube, you're supposed to be able to see it. So that's what YouTube says anyway. So if you can see the comments on YouTube, go ahead and just put a comment in there so that I know I have that screen up. And I don't believe you're seeing that screen. So that should be okay. I think it is hidden from you. Okay, good. My assistant is here to help you. So I will tell her to also open up the live webinar on YouTube. Okay, Vanessa, you can do that. Open it up in another window. So that way, because I don't believe anyone can comment on the page that it's being broadcasted through. So go ahead and open it on YouTube, and then you can see the comments there. And you can, like always, just chat me on Google Hangouts if somebody's leaving a comment there. So they don't have any other kind of comment unless we did Facebook comments, but YouTube really doesn't want to incorporate those because, of course, you know, Facebook and Google are not the best of friends. Okay, and so now we're getting another message. Let me give her this link here. Okay, so she said one client says it's starting and stopping, but my side is not doing that. I'm streaming live right in Facebook. I mean, in YouTube. Okay, so maybe if people use that link, they'll be able to get in. We're going to wait. It's 8:06. It seems like some people are having problems with their computers or with the page, whatever. There's no problems with everything has been checked and double checked and triple checked. So most likely, if you're having and experiencing a problem, it's going to be okay, good. Yeah, you can open up another window just to look at the comments, Vanessa. So if you open up, you can keep it on the website if you want, and then open up another window and go into the YouTube one. And then that way you can just watch it directly on YouTube and check the comments. So so they're saying it's still stopping and starting. I have no messages saying that. I have no error messages. Usually what happens, let's see. Usually what happens is YouTube will tell me that it's streaming slowly or that I don't have a good connection and things like that, and that's not happening. Let me turn off some apps here. Let me just see if I turn off, see if I pause my, oh no, I don't want to finish. I want to get this thing. Hi, Ned. Oh, hold on here. What do I want to do here? Hold on. I'm going to try to close out of this one window here. Oops. I don't want you guys don't need to see that. Sorry. Let me see here if I can done and if I can pause this. I'm going to pause my drive there. That should not be going. Okay, so we're back to our screen. Okay, I can see the comments. That's awesome. My mouse, you can see my mouse, it's looking at the comments. So let's see if that's any better for anybody. I have nothing else on, so that should be the only thing that might have made the streaming, but usually we'll get a message from let me see even if I can make it stop. I don't think so. Oh, quit, backup and sync. How about if I just quit it? There, I'll just quit that program and let's see what happens there. All right, we are going to now, we've got one more minute where we're waiting and then we're going to get started. That should be it. All right, I turned off every, oh, I just gave you the link on text. Yeah, you can watch it in, I can't give it any other way because I can't access, Sandy, I can't access my computer right now because I'm on doing the webinar. So let's see. Everybody's saying it's buffering. But it works well on YouTube. Okay, so everybody just go to YouTube. Go directly to YouTube to watch the stream. So all my VAs, all our team members are saying that it looks better on YouTube. So go directly to YouTube to watch. Let me see if I can. I don't think I can do that. Let me check my emails real quick, just so that in case there's anybody here that needed it. So let me just go here real quick. Yeah, so people want the link to YouTube. Vanessa, can you go in there? And I'm going to do this for Sharon. I sent Sharon one. Let's see who else. Anybody else? Yeah. Next person. Oh, somebody else says it's so bad. Oh my gosh. Thank you, YouTube. I'm going to take care of her too. Get her right directly. And Vanessa, let's make a note that from now on, we'll just stream live, and we're not going to do the pages and the website anymore. We'll just stream live right through YouTube. Yeah, because everybody's saying that everyone is saying the audio is choppy. So it is on YouTube side there. So let's go ahead and try to get this. I'm already pasting some of these, but once I start, Vanessa, I won't be able to, once I start talking, I won't be able to do it. So for any new people that come in through the email, they're emailing directly to coachkaterina@gmail.com saying that they can't get in, which I think that means also some people will be not telling me that they can't see it and they're just going to give up. So I believe that's what I wanted to do last month, was to just do everything through YouTube. Okay, I thought that's how we had it set up. Okay, hi Mary. So it should be better for everybody that's on the YouTube channel watching. And we will just, from now on, when we have webinars, we will just stream right live through YouTube, and you'll have to register anyway, because you're going to need to get the link to that, because I have them unlisted at first. Okay, so then once we do the replay, after the replay is done and everything, then we'll probably just go ahead and let other people watch it as well. But it's a free one, so that part doesn't matter. Nobody's paying to watch it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And Vanessa, if you could just watch the emails here on Gmail, just in case any more come in that can't watch it. Okay, so welcome to today's webinar. Today we're going to talk about Google's big change that will either make you or break you. This big change has already been taking place, and a lot of people have been noticing it. There's a ton of chatter in the Google forums and everywhere about how people's rankings are dropping, their traffic is dropping, and all of this stuff. There's a lot of this going on right now. A little bit about myself. My name is Katerina Gassett, and I have been working in the SEO and digital marketing field since 2005. My first blog that I started writing was back in 2005. I get myself and my clients the top rankings for keywords. I've been quoted in Forbes magazine, featured in National Association of Realtors magazine. I was a keynote speaker for Active Rain and many other speakers at many other events. I stopped speaking and started doing webinars because I can do those from my home, and I don't need to go somewhere and fly and get a hotel room and all of that sort of thing. So it's a lot better for my lifestyle. Okay, now we have a good comment from somebody who says that if you click on the settings in your YouTube, you can turn the resolution down to 240 and you'll stop the buffering. So if you want to do that, go ahead and try that. Click on your settings in YouTube. You can hear two people talking, Debbie, because you still have the website page on. Close out of the website. You need to close down the browser that has the website. So if you're hearing two people talking, you have two windows open. You either have two YouTube windows open, or tabs, or you have the page plus the YouTube video going at the same time. So just close out on the web. Don't close out on your YouTube one, close out on the website one. So everyone has to have a reason for what they do. And mine, of course, are, these are my whys, my family. My family's much bigger than what this picture shows, because I have 9 children and I have 9 grandchildren. I also have my team to take care of, and we have 28 and growing wonderful Filipino people who work for our company and who service our clients. And these are amazing people. My mission in the rest of my life here is to not only be a good mother and grandmother and business owner, etc., and help add value to your lives, but my mission is to change the lives of 1 million Filipino people. I want to change their lives, their families. I want to help them by giving them good opportunities to earn their money from home so they can be with their children. Most of our employees are women, and most of those women are mothers. And we want to empower them to be with their children and still be able to take care of their families. In the Philippines, there are many, many single family households where the mother is taking care of her children. And in those situations, it's frowned upon in their culture to be a single mother. So I want to help them to raise their families and to be able to we don't understand their situation there because here in our first world country, we have first world problems, and the Philippines is a third world country, and there are millions and millions of people who don't have fresh water, who don't have electricity in their homes. I mean, we're talking about just the simple necessities of life they just don't have. And so it's my goal and dream and my passion to make sure that we can reach 1 million of these people and empower them. And how do we do that? By putting them to work to help you, to putting them to help every time you hire us to do work for you, you are changing lives in a huge way. So your little $10 an hour that would keep somebody poor in the United States make somebody middle class and wealthy in the Philippines. And you are actually really, really touching lives. And this makes a huge difference to me. So that is what my why is and why I have this company. We have a lot of testimonials about our SEO. We have an amazing SEO department now. We have 5 women now that head up one that heads up, and the rest are very, very good, excellent SEO people. They show up to work, and I so appreciate them. This is a testimonial we received from one of our clients about how we helped him rank many of his websites on many channels and vertical SEO as well. What are you going to learn today? So what you're going to learn today is, what does Google mean with the YMYL, which is one of their big, huge changes they just made? And why does this matter to you? And why is Google talking about EAT? We're going to talk about that and what that is and why it matters to you. We're going to talk about why your brand is important. And then I'm going to show you, explain to you how to get Google to notice your brand and what to do to get Google to accept you as an authority. So these are really important things because, as we know, probably most of all, what does Google want most of all? Well, they want to get rid of the spam on the internet, right? And so they are looking for trust and authority. And if you don't have trust and authority with Google, your pages, your website is just not going to show up anymore. And that's why so many people took a hit. Actually, what Google wants is for you never to leave the search engine page that you land on, but they're not going to tell you that. But if you watch everything that they do, you will see, especially on mobile, that Google's whole goal is to make sure that once you do a search, once you ask Google a question, that you don't click to anybody's website. They want you looking at the ads, and then the little rich snippets. You know what the rich snippets are? Hopefully everybody knows what a rich snippet is by now. A rich snippet is where you ask a question and you get a drop-down menu of different questions, and they say people also ask. They want you reading those but not clicking. They're going to show you the map. They want you looking at that and not going to the website, but clicking the map or calling the phone number. Then they want to show you YouTube videos because they own YouTube. And then they want to show you images that they've ranked on Google because most likely you're not going to click through a website if you're looking at images, and so on and so forth. So they have a method to what they've been doing. And so we have to figure out a way, how can we get them then, because you're getting less and less space. No longer do you get, on most searches, no longer do you get a choice of 10 websites. So even if you're number 8 or 9 or 10 nowadays, especially on mobile, you're still not going to be seen because they are crowding up that whole top place with all these other things. So let's review again what that looks like. Ads looking native are on the top and on the side. And what Google tries to do with ads, because their revenue went down a lot this year, so they're trying to figure out how can they raise their revenue, how can they make money. And so what they're trying to do is make the ads look more and more part of the content, so that so people will more likely click, not really knowing it's an ad. So they want the ads to look very native, and they want them on the top and the side. And we're very strong feeling in most of our SEO groups is that they're going to want to start sprinkling those within the SERPs themselves, like throughout the SERPs. They are already experimenting with doing it on Google My Business, which I really hate, because that means your competitor who has more money, that maybe has more money than you and can spend money on Google My Business, things that cost them money. Like, I think that Google is going to try to experiment with charging for the appointment. So if somebody clicks appointment, then you have to pay. And this is, so you can just imagine if one of your competitors has a lot more, marketing dollars than you, but you've been on the top and maybe you're the best in your business, and yet they're going to get the more, real estate on the page than you will, right? So then they're going to have your Google My Business. If it's a local search, you're going to have your Google My Business local, your Google Map on the right, and on the right side there, you will see more information about your business. And then they want you to click on the map, right? That's going to be on the right side. That's your Google My Business information on the right side of the page. Then they're going to have the rich snippets, which is your people ask. Then they're going to have images, videos from YouTube maybe, and then they're going to have related searches. So those are all the different types of things. Now, they're investors, they're a publicly traded company. So they're investors, their stock goes up and everything, and they get better investment money when people are staying on Google. Okay, so those are a couple of the things. Now, this is just something that just happened this last week. So I'm going to bring it up even though it's not part of this webinar, but it is so important for you to understand this. The next thing that's happening is YouTube has made the FTC has forced YouTube to make take some huge responsibility, which they shouldn't have to do, about content for children. So it's this COPA thing that they have going on in California, and now it's expanded to the federal government, and now the FTC has put in place COPA standards, which originally, the original ones were fine. But now what they're doing is they are going to start charging people $42,000 if you made a video that children come and watch. So even if you don't make videos for children and they find out that children watched it, you can get in trouble. So this is huge. This is like this huge thing. Right now, the FTC is open for comments. I already did mine today. There's petitions you can sign, everything to please tell them that this is way beyond reasonable, because this means that you wouldn't be able to have people who make money on videos. And there's lots of people who do like Disney videos, and what about all the YouTubers that do gaming? Of course, they have children watching. They have to follow specific rules about how they collect information. And YouTube's the only one that can do that because they make ad money. It goes back to doing the ads, right? So now YouTube is trying to make us self-police ourselves. And so now when you upload a video, it's going to ask you, is this content for children? But if you say no and it's not, and then they find out that children watched it, YouTube will suspend your account, just shut you down, because they don't want to get sued by the FTC. So it's really, really bad. It's going to hurt so many people that earn their income on YouTube. Not only that, but people who are innocent, that are not making videos for children. It's really, really bad. So, and it's a whole mess, because there always comes with it unintended consequences, right? So today, a 17-year-old kid who was on one of those, on one of the YouTube channels that was talking about this, said he went in and deleted everything because he could not say, he says, there's no way. He goes, I game and I do gaming videos, and I'm so scared that my parents don't have $42,000 to pay a fine if the FTC tells me that my videos are, specifically for children, which they're not, but obviously children watch them because he does, he plays some game that parents shouldn't let their children watch. So, my theory, my opinion is that parents should be monitoring their children, not the federal government. But anyway, needless to say, that's a new thing that just came up, and it is going to affect everybody who has a YouTube channel. So be aware of that. Go to the FTC, leave your comments there, and hopefully, and then also just answer the question that you don't have. You can only be honest about answering your questions on YouTube when you upload a video. But that if they're not asking you already, they will within the next 30 days. Okay, so what did Google do? So Google created a 200-page document on what YMYL is all about. And then they have humans doing site reviews all over Google. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get their AI, which is artificial intelligence, they're trying to get that AI to be able to not show spam content on page 1. They're also trying to get that AI to learn what is the user's intent. So when someone types a keyword in, they want their artificial intelligence to be so intelligent that it can figure out, of course, mathematically, what that searcher's intent is and give them what they're intending. That's one. So in order to figure out what kind of sites fit in the YMYL space, they have these human reviewers going around to different websites. Now, what happens is that the reviewers go around, they're given a checklist and a form, and they fill that out for each website that they go to. Now, Google doesn't go and look at that after they did this and shut you down if they don't like you. So don't worry about that part. That doesn't happen. They're using this information to train their AI, okay? Now, YMYL stands for Your Money, Your Life. And what Google has specifically come out and said is that anything that you do on the internet that has to do with people's money or their lives, that the rules have changed for you. And this is why so many people's websites dropped. I mean, thousands and thousands of people's websites dropped. I have been warning about this for many, many years, and it's here now. And I told everybody years ago, and now I have clients crying because they didn't listen to me years ago. I was saying this back when they first did the Panda update back in 2012. I was telling people you have to establish your brand on the internet now, your authority and your brand, because Google's VP at the time had said the internet is just nothing but a cesspool and we have to clean it up. And the only way we can clean it up is by trusting big brands. So if you have to become a big brand, and that only way you can become a big brand is by niching it down into a really tight niche. There are riches in the niches and niches, whatever you want to call it. And people don't believe me. They still go general. So many businesses go general. Okay, so I do the work for, now I finally got my chiropractor to understand, and we're very, very narrow. We are very focused in what our topics are with my chiropractor. But my dentist, he wants to be a general dentist. And I keep telling him he's never going to rank if he keeps focusing on the general stuff. It's just not going to happen. And the same thing if you're in any other niche, real estate, coaching, if you're in the e-commerce space, any of these spaces, you are competing against some very, very big brands, and you have to carve out your little area on that. So, yes, Stephanie, I agree. It's very creepy. So, and it's really, really bad. So I don't know. They even said, back to the YouTube thing just for a minute, because Stephanie just brought this up. It's so vague. This is what's so bad about it. It is so, the new rule that they're proposing, it hasn't been passed yet. They haven't voted on it yet. Remember, these are not people that have been elected to government. These are appointed. So they're not even accountable to us because we didn't put them in office. So what they do is they have committees and they vote on these rules and regulations. And so what it says in there is if your video has bright colors in it, it might be attracting children. So that means what? You can't make a video with bright colors. And if you have an old video with bright colors, does that mean that you're going to be shut down because you have bright colors in a video and you told them it's not for children? That's what's it's very scary. It's actually extremely scary. And they said something else like fun music. Do you have fun music running in the background of your videos? Are you kidding me? So this is really, really, really bad. Or if you're a parent and you have a parent blog in a parent vlog, a video about raising your children. It's not for children, but you're talking about children. So does that mean you have to say it's for children? It's really, yeah. So anyway, that's just another topic there. Okay, so now back to your money, your life. So what are your money, your life? Yeah, yes, Ned, I agree. So what is your money, your life? So that's anything in the financial industry. So that means mortgages, that means investments, stock brokerages, real estate. It means construction. It means anything where you're taking a lot of money that you're going to be in charge of somebody's lot of money. Okay. What is your life? That's anything in the health industry. So that means, anything in your cancer, health and wellness. Let's say you have a blog about how you juice. That's affected. You're in the YMYL space. Now Google just moved pets topics into YMYL because pets are, you're spending money on pets and people love their pets. So that's now in both spaces, your money and in your life. So it's in both spaces now. So many, and they keep moving more and more things in. Now they said that in the beginning, they said hobbies don't count. So if you're in a hobby niche, like maybe you're teaching somebody golf or you're teaching guitar lessons, knitting lessons or sewing, then they don't hold you to as high of a standard. However, they just now said that if you're teaching guitar lessons and selling a course in guitar lessons, you better be able to prove that you're an expert in guitar lessons. So it's really, really hard now for people to come and break in and be able to start a business. But there are ways that we can deal with this. It's just more work for us. Okay, so what are we to do? Okay, but first, let's say it started, just so you know, I will tell you why it started. It started with medical sites and law sites. And the reason it started there is because there was some person who Googled that he was having pain in his chest. And he Googled, what do I do? Because my chest is hurting. My heart is, my chest is hurting really bad. What do I do? Well, call 911, right? But he didn't do that. He Googled it. And then Google, one of the top places that came back was an old natural health site that said, well, when you're having heart pains, you need to take some, turmeric and hot tea, all these kinds of things. The guy was having a heart attack. So what Google wants is when somebody Googles something like that, where it's life and death situation, that the answer comes back, call 911, go to the hospital, not some natural remedy. Okay. And the same thing with law, like you're in the middle, you're being beat up by your spouse or significant other, and you're typing into Google what to do. And then you start getting all these other websites when it should be call 911. So Google was very concerned about that because that means lawsuits against Google, right? So that's where it started, was medical sites. So if you're not WebMD or you're not Cleveland Clinic, or if you're not Hopkins Medical Department, things like that, then you have to establish yourself as some kind of an authority in that niche, which is going to be very, very difficult to do, especially since WebMD is so popular with Google as far as they love to pull that up, right? Because it has a lot of authority. Then they moved into all the health sites. They moved into, just natural cures and things like, exercise and yoga, they're moving all into that space. Then they moved into your financial sites, your banking and debt free, how to get debt free. So your Dave Ramsey's kind of people will be the ones that are showing, up at the top a lot and things like that. I went over the pet sites. And so they're moving more and more into these. Now, what Google does say in this 200-page document, is that you can write a lifestyle blog or write videos, content about what you go through. So let's say you have cancer and you want to document your story so you can help and support others who are going through what you're going through. So your website then would be, I have cancer and this is what I'm experiencing and this is what happened when I went to chemo or radiation and this is how I felt and this is what I ate. And so it's all coming from that point of view. You're not saying eat these tomatoes and you won't get cancer, right? Or eat this soy milk and get rid of your cancer. You're not making claims like that, and you're not, so it's more of the story. So those are allowed, okay? And Google is not going to punish sites like that. So for almost everybody, I think everybody that's on this webinar, YMYL is going to be very important to your website. And also remember, it has to do with safety and happiness too. So it's not just financial. So this is directly from the Google document. They said happiness, health, safety, or financial stability. When if you're a realtor and you're taking earnest money and you're showing that this house is for sale and it's, hundreds of thousands of dollars, yes, that's in the YMYL space. Unfortunately, if you're in the real estate space, you've got Zillow getting all the brand recognition, right? And of course, again, that's why I tell you to niche and niche and niche. Just keep niching down. Now, in my last webinar that I taught last month about blogging and the changes for 2020, that is where you will learn what you need to do on your blog. So you need to go watch that video. It's on my YouTube channel. You need to watch that video, that webinar replay, because that is how you need to structure your website now, okay? But I'm going to give you some more in here on what you have to do. So that's part one. That's how you have to write your content, present your content. This is going to tell you what you have to do with the other pages on your website in order to meet the standard of YMYL. So what is the purpose of a web page? So this is the main question that Google the algorithm is asking, right? So the main thing, this is directly from from the Google document. I'm not making any of the stuff. This is all stuff that Google has been saying. This is not what SEO gurus have said, nothing like that, okay? This is directly from Google. It says that, what is the purpose of a web page? Okay, the purpose of a page is the reason or reasons why it was created. Every page on the internet is created for a purpose or for multiple purposes. So if it's not created for a purpose, it shouldn't be there, right? Some pages are created just to make money with little or no effort. Some pages are created to cause harm. See, so that's what they're concerned of, right? So what they want is they want those people that they hire to go reviewing websites to actually say, is this the kind of site, this kind of content, is this just making money? Is this harming anybody? So what is the purpose of the web page? And what they want is they want them to give them a rating, right? And so each website gets this rating, and they're not going to see every website, but they go randomly around and do this. Websites and pages should be created to help users. So that is what Google wants. If they find that your page is trying to deceive anybody, you're going to get a very low quality score. If you are trying to just make money and not help them, then you're going to get a very low quality score. So hopefully they will get rid of some of the, really crap out there. But already I've seen that very good websites offering very good content are being punished as well. And it could just be that it takes a while for that algorithm to shift around, and maybe we'll see some settling here in the next few weeks. So every page must have a purpose, and that purpose must be accomplished to benefit the user. So if you have a page on your website that doesn't serve this, it's going to have to get deleted. Every page needs to have the right kind of expertise behind it. Some pages require higher levels of EAT, which we're going to go through in just a few minutes, than others because of the subject matter. Sometimes for low or non-YMYL pages, the expertise can be found in the content itself. YMYL pages, though, need to have the highest EAT possible. They have to have because these pages can have a direct impact on a person's life, their livelihood, or their happiness. So this is why this is so important that you must establish your website to look like the authority. And there's certain things that we're going to go through in which you can learn how to do that. But you need to understand how important this is. And I'm going to tell you, people don't know this. No one knows this. This is hardly anyone, because SEO guys are not going to sit there and read 200 pages. They're just not going to. So you're going to have very few SEO companies and SEO gurus and SEO people even talking about this. So your competitors, it's highly unlikely that your competitors have a clue about this. So when you do this first, you're going to beat them. Okay. And this is going to help you beat them in the rankings. Now, this stuff takes time too. And this is a lot of people don't have the patience to wait. Sometimes it can take 8, 9, 10, 2 years to establish your authority. So how to work with YMYL? The first thing we must do is we must establish EAT. And what EAT is expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Okay? Expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Those 3 things must be loud on your pages. Your About page is now the most important page on your website. Okay, so on your About, and you need 2 About pages. I don't know if I have a slide on this or not. Yeah, I do. Okay, so we're going to go through that in a minute. I might repeat myself, but that's okay. It's so important. You're going to have 2 About pages. One of your About pages is going to be your author page, because what happens is Google doesn't look, if you're a company or a niche, your company is the niche, right? So it's if you have an exact match domain, excuse me for just a second, I got to get a drink of water. If that's your niche, like, one of mine is equestrian properties, Wellington equestrian properties. If it's Wellington equestrian properties, then that's my brand. Okay. Even though my company name is something, my husband's company name is something else, right? So, but that's still a brand, right? So we want to be branded for that kind of topic. So we need to have an About page about the author of the website, because Wellington equestrian properties did not write the content. And a lot of times you have that. I see that a lot in people's footers, that you're only putting your company name in there. There's a human being that writes the content. Otherwise, Google's not going to show you to anybody. So you have to be a human being. You have to have a human being name, and so you have to have an author About page. That's the person who writes the content. So if you're outsourcing to us, it's going to be you, because we're ghostwriters for you. We're not we don't take the credit for it. So if you have the VAs writing for you, that is it's still you, and they're ghostwriting for you, right? So you put it in your name. You are the author of your website. And then you have the owner of the website, which is the company. All right. So you need a company page, About page, and an author About page. You've got to get somebody professional to back you up, a doctor, attorney, depending on the space you're in. So whatever space you're in, think about who in that space has a lot of authority and that you could go to and just have a little chat with and ask them, hey, could you just write me a little, review that I could add to my About page, and I'm going to type it in there, with your name and stuff, about how you believe that I'm reputable and that you can trust me, something like that. Get credentials in your niche. Okay. So get as many credentials. This is where, people always laughed. I remember in the early 2000s, oh, people don't care about credentials, and especially in the real estate industry, oh, people don't care about, all these designations I have. Well, guess what? Google does. So, and I said this before a few years ago when we talked about pages, to have this set up already. Well, now it's almost too late to get this set up, but you still need to do it, because hopefully, I don't think your competitors have done a good job of this at all on your About pages. So what you want to do is you want to get as many credentials as you can. Think back in your old days, maybe even from college or high school. Think even back far. What kind of awards did you get? What kind, all of those awards. Now you want to try to get them specific to your niche, but even if they're not, that's okay. Because let's say you're teaching guitar and you have an MBA in business. Well, an MBA in business is going to carry weight, even though it's not really related to guitar. It is, because it's related to people's money. And so Google can trust you more because they figured you went to college and got a degree. So, and then you want to have those credentials in other places. So let's say you, as an attorney, for instance, they will have a bar association, right? And in the bar association, their name will be in the roster. And I would recommend, if you're an attorney, to buy something from them that actually you can have more, something you can link to on their website, and buy some kind of credential or something like that. Pay the fee and then link to those credentials. Okay. So if you're in real estate and you have, designations with CRS or, and maybe you're a member of NAR, maybe you're on a committee with the MLS, anything like that, you want to link to that page also from your about page, because this is showing Google that somebody else is saying that. And then vice versa, you want to try to get those sites to link to your about page. Don't link to your home page, link to your about page. So that way Google can make that connection. So use your degrees, use anything you can. If you don't have any, go find some. You can buy really inexpensive ones on the internet where you take a really quick course and you pass the test and you have a designation. So just do something. And then you also want to quote and link to high authorities in your niche. So the best ones, of course, to link to are government websites and EDU websites. So maybe a professor wrote a paper or something like that, and it's posted on his professor page at a university, and you teach what he, you provide a service that is something that he teaches, and so then you can quote him and then link to him. Okay. The other ones, there's like, if you're in the health, then of course, find somebody on WebMD and link to that doctor, as this doctor says on WebMD, and then you go into your content. So depending on, and also almost if you own a business, this doesn't work if you're just a contractor for a business, but if you own a business, if you're a 1099er, this won't work, but get a better business stamp of approval. It's expensive, I know. If you only have no employees, it's like $600 a year in most locations. It's based on a bunch of different things in your city. But I would, if you're in the United States, I would definitely recommend you to pay the money to be with Better Business Bureau, because it's probably the strongest link you'll ever get that has a lot of credibility. Any kind of industry you're in, find those industry websites and work on this. This is something you really, really need to work on. And it takes time, and it's not something you can just do overnight. So you need to focus on this and really say, this is going to be my project for the next 3 months, and I'm really going to get this down, this about page down. So on your about pages, what do you need? You need to establish your expertise, authoritativeness, and your trustworthiness, right? You want to write in first person, tell stories, and your photos have to be you. They cannot be stock photos. They cannot be your logo. They have to be you, and they should not, the pictures you use on your about page should be photos of you that are not used anyplace else on the internet. And you need to tag that photo with your name saying original photo of Katerina Gassett. So that way the Google algorithm can tell that image is nowhere else on the internet, and it really does belong to you, and this is you on your about page. So that will establish a lot of authority. Make sure your NAP, if you're in any kind of local niche, make sure your NAP is correct on every single page of your website, especially your about page, and it needs to be the exact same everywhere. Just remember, we do a lot of work. Our SEO department is fabulous at Google My Business Google My Business projects, and we do them for a lot of clients, and they're excellent at doing this. They have been, I trained and they trained, and we have still the same ladies, and we trained, and they already came to me with a lot of experience. But we have that Google My Business department down pat. It's like amazing. So if you have any issues with that and you need to offload that off your plate, and if you're in a local space, then let me know and we can get you started. You want to make sure you put a video on your about page where you're actually speaking and you're showing your face. I know that's hard for a lot of people, but you got to get used to it. You got to do it. Make sure you have a YouTube channel and that video is hosted on your YouTube channel. And then you're just linking, you're embedding it on your website, but that it's just an embed code, which actually is sitting on YouTube. And then below all that, add all of your awards, your certificates, tell more stories. That you want to really fill this up with your personal mission, and I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about those hokey about pages that are all over the internet. Those don't help. The users don't like them. They're not interesting. They look silly on the internet. And so don't do a brochure style about page. It needs to flow. It needs to be where somebody wants to read. People like to read stories. So write story and then break it up with these other things as you're adding it to there. But then add more stories and more stories and more stories. And I'm talking about a lot of things because what you're trying to do is make that connection with the user on how you connect with them. So whatever your hobbies are, talk about that. We have a couple of NAP is, somebody asked, what is NAP? NAP is name, address, phone number. I have a ton of Facebook Lives that are recorded in our Get It Done For Me Now virtual services group. It's a private group, but it's free to join. And if you join that group and you go and click on the video tab on the left, you'll see all the videos I've done already. And I've gone extensively into Google My Business on those videos. And I've also done, I think, a couple of webinars, which we'll get up here on my YouTube channel as well. We'll get those posted up here. I think I did those like a year ago, but nothing really has changed from that. Also, my SEO update webinar has a lot to do with Google My Business. So you can find that one as well. It's called SEO Update. I do believe that's already open on my YouTube. That one I did about a year ago and it still applies. So that's what NAP is. And the other thing is that let's say you have a hobby. Let's say you're an animal rescue person. We work with quite a few professionals who do that. And so you work with them and you rescue pets, or dogs or cats, whatever it is. So you want to write about that because now guess what? You're going to connect with people who believe the same as you, right? And you're going to be able to, they're going to like that and they're going to want to read more about you. So you want to tell your experiences, what you do. If you're in a business where your past is very important for people to understand that you are authoritative, you want to go into those experiences. And I'm not talking sterile content. I'm talking about actually telling a story of how you got to where you are today in your business and why you like to help people in that space. Okay. The NAP, by the way, Mary, has to be exactly the same on every single page on the internet, every single citation, and it has to match Google My Business exactly, or they will not make the connection. Here are some about pages that are really good. I'm wondering if we can go to some of these so I can show you real quick. I know we're running, we're kind of, how many more slides do I have? Ooh, I probably can't. I'm sorry. Maybe you guys can take a screenshot of this and then go and visit these. So Nike has an amazing about page. 8 Hour Day has a great about page. My chiropractor does, Amaz does. So you can look at some of these. I can't go into them only because we have just too much to cover. All right, so let me go back here. All right, so now I'm just taking a really quick break and we're gonna go right into eat, but I just wanna go over what we can help you with. We can help you design and add your content to your about page. We can write your niche blog content. We can do your on-page and off-page SEO. We can do your Google My Business page. We can manage it and keep it moving forward and keep adding content to it. And build Google, they're called Google Local Guides. We build Google Local Guides, and these Google Local Guides can go and leave you reviews, and they can ask you questions, and they can answer questions for other people, and they can post pictures on you. So there's a lot of things, and you want to do a lot of this to protect yourself against some mean person that might want to come up to you one day and leave you a bad review. So these kind of work that we do protects you from getting a bad review later on, but also helps Google to recognize you as an authority and trust you, hopefully more than the other people they have in the top 3 sandwich, the three pack. We can help you build your brand online. We can set up your profiles where you need them. We call those citations, so we can increase your citations across the internet. And we can get press releases done for you, so that and submit it through online press release direct submission services. So that way you can get some good, strong news links back to you from people like affiliates of Fox News and NBC and NPR and different things like that. So just let me know if you're interested in us helping you. All you have to do is reach out to me and text me at 561-502-1577. Okay. or you can go directly to delegatemytasks.com/get started. What is EAT? We went through that. It's expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. All right. So what does Google consider expertise? All right. So number one, you have to have 2 about pages, like I said, one for the company, one for the author. So if you don't own a company and you're just like an internet marketer and you're doing passive income sites, or you're an affiliate, something like that, then you're going to want your page, your company, to be whatever that brand, like a niche. So in other words, let's say you sell ergonomic chairs, for the office. So you could say, and you have a domain that's ergonomicchairs.com. So then your company page would be called Ergonomic Chairs. Okay. So, LLC or whatever it is. If you have an umbrella company, then go ahead and use the umbrella company and say your DBA as, and then the niche. On your contact page, you must have your phone number and your address and your NAP if you're local. If you're not local and you're global and you're doing, let's say you're a coach and you coach people all over the world, you still have to have an address, because Google is not going to give you authority in the YMYL space, because in their minds, they're thinking, if you're legitimate, you're not scared about giving me your address. Okay, so you need to have an address, and it can't be a PO box. So don't try to get away with that. I will tell you that I know very famous people who make millions of dollars in many different spaces: affiliate marketing, in real estate, in coaching, in authors and speakers, all of these people, and nobody goes to their house. So I am not concerned about, and plus, if somebody really wants to find you, they can. It's just too easy today. Ned is asking a link to LinkedIn profile. Yes, definitely a link to your LinkedIn profile, and vice versa. Okay. You need to have your author name and your company name. Okay. So I would say things, and you want to put them together. So I would say like Katarina Gassett from delegatemytasks.com, right? So that's what you would say. And so when people talk about you, you want to ask them, could you please say Katarina Gassett from delegatemytasks.com? So that way Google will know that's I'm the author and that's the brand, right? Write an article for an industry related site. You don't need to do a lot of these, but do 1 or 2 of these. So whatever space you're in, whatever niche you're in, find the industry, magazine, online, whatever, and contact somebody there and say, hey, can I contribute an article to the magazine? Can I write in a column? Can I something where you can, again, establish this authoritativeness? Okay, so that's expertise. Now, the other thing with that is, we're going to go through this too, is brand mentions without links. So anytime someone is mentioning you, Google knows it, and it doesn't have to be a link anymore. But you want to, so that's even more important, why you need to make it correct. Be a guest on a podcast. Start searching your niche and see if there's anybody, can you go on one of the podcasts and talk? And then you can link to that podcast, right? You can promote that podcast and add it to your about page, right? Be a guest on a video show. Same thing, a TV show, video show, excuse me. The next thing is, you're going to create a resource page on your website. So every website needs to have a page that's like resources. What else could it be? Something to do with resources, okay? So I like the word resources because most people know what that means. A lot of people, if you're an affiliate, you might want to say my recommendations, or my reviews. But I like resource. So create a resource page on your website and add valuable information there. So let's say you are in real estate and you put on there the link to the mortgage broker, and say, hey, first time home buyer, you need to get qualified for a loan first. Here is who I recommend you to go and, get your loan from, and then put their phone number, put their NAP on there and brand mention them and then link to them. Okay. Things like that. So if you're in a different space and maybe you have a book, maybe you're an author, you want to link to wherever they can buy the book and, talk about the book a little bit. If you are an affiliate marketer and an Amazon affiliate, or you sell other affiliate products, then you're going to want to talk about the different products that you sell and direct them to another page on your website that goes into more detail. And then from that page, they can go and buy the product. Create a Quora account and answer questions. This is a really good way for you to establish your expertise, especially if you don't have any. So a lot of people start a business and they're afraid because they're saying, I'm not an expert. But you can become an expert. And one of the ways you become an expert, yes, Mark and Laura, yes, it is. You will get, if you registered for this webinar, you will get a link to the recording. Okay, that'll be sent in your email. As I think it'll be on the beginning of next week. But I believe if you just keep my link to the YouTube video, so if actually for you that are on the chat, Vanessa, if you could just put that in the comments, the link to the direct to the YouTube video, then you can just come back and watch this, because what YouTube does is they're recording it right now, and it doesn't even have to render when it's live with YouTube. It's pretty cool. It'll be immediately available for you. So just keep the link and come back to it. So create a Quora account and answer those questions in there. This is huge to develop expertise, because Google loves Quora, and it's a very good place where you can establish expertise. Mary is asking, and she's in the real estate space, and she's asking, is it useful to answer questions on Zillow or Trulia? Yes, it is. And even though I don't want to do anything with Zillow, I cannot stand Zillow. I don't buy, we don't participate with them in any way, shape, or form. In fact, most of our clients don't even want their house on Zillow. They want us to remove it and all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of crazy here. But Trulia, yes, that's good if they're still allowing you to answer questions. I don't know if they shut that part of their part down since Zillow purchased them. I'm not sure. But yes, I would answer the questions on Zillow, because it's still a brand mention of you as long as you can get your name in there. Okay. And then add your correct brand and author name and link to your about page, not your home page. So when you're in Quora, when you're in Zillow, Trulia, when you're in any kind of forum, any kind of place where you can establish your expertise, make sure you're linking to your about page and not your home page. And then create a Reddit account and do the same thing. Just repeat the same thing you did on Quora, go do it on Reddit. Help at least 25 people on Quora and help at least 25 people on Reddit. This will help also drive traffic to your site. So these are very good, not just for establishing expertise, but these are ways to actually get traffic to your site, which helps Google to think your site is worthy enough to push it up higher in the search engines. Okay. The more traffic you get, the more Google trusts you. And it's like that catch-22, right? You can't get traffic unless Google shows you on, for organic, you can't get traffic unless you're high up on the search engines, and they won't put you high on the search engines unless you're getting a lot of traffic, so it's kind of one of those, kind of weird situations, but go ahead and do that. All right. So just remember, help 25 people on each of these platforms. The next one is LinkedIn. So you should make sure that your LinkedIn profile is updated and completed. Make sure it's really, really complete. We have a 10-point audit system that we use for our clients when they request us to work on their LinkedIn profiles. And we go through and do a complete audit on your LinkedIn. In fact, my assistant, Vanessa, is the one that's highly trained in this specialty. She's very good at it. And if you are one of our clients right now, you can request this from us directly from Daisy. If you're not one of our clients and you want to become one, then that's fine too. We can do that for you. But what happens is Vanessa will send you an email with her results of her 10-point audit with a list of things you need to either provide to her to add to your site, or you need to go in there and take care of those. Be active in LinkedIn and join some groups there. And then link from your LinkedIn page to your about page, and then from your company and your company about page. And then link to your LinkedIn profile from your about pages. All right. So you're kind of doing a swap on links. Back lots of years ago, that was a no-no in my SEO to the top. I teach people never ever to link out of their website. But now Google believes that that's a very natural thing to do, to link to others. So if you're not linking to others for SEO purposes, then they know you're doing SEO and you're not going to get the kudos. All right, now we're going to go on to authoritativeness. So authoritativeness is who is talking about you. So that's the question Google asks. Who's talking about you? So you want to make sure that you get in front of people who can talk to you online. Okay. Join Facebook groups in your niches. Who's linking to you? Who's linking to you? You want to make sure ask people to link to you. Okay. And then are you using schema markup? You need to be doing that. Very, very important. You can do that. You can do an author schema. If you're in the food space, you can do recipe schema. If you are a news, some kind of a news site or something, you can do news schema. So there's lots of different schemas you can do now. If you're having an event, you can do an event schema. If you're in real estate and you have an open house, you can do an event schema for the open house, things like that. Social media. You need to be using social media, being on there, or at least paying people like RVAs to do that for you, so that we can, have your brand mentions over and over again. Brand mentions and author name mentions are very, very important into establishing authoritativeness, and they don't have to be links. So of course we want some links, but they shouldn't be all links. So someone who talks about you, but just remember, help them to know how to talk about you, how to format the name and your niche or your company name. Okay. Oh, I had one on schema markup. Sorry. So schema you can do for reviews, authorship, events, products, recipes. Right now, there might be one more. I can't remember. Products. I forgot to mention that. But I think I have the complete list. I might be missing one or two. So we also want, we talked about the brand mentions with no links in them. And then you want to work on your citations. And citations go on forever. It's so funny. People hire us for Google My Business, and I warn them. I said, this never ends. They go, how long is the project? It never ends, because you can never run out of places to put citations. So what a citation is adding your NAP to different websites. So like Yellow Pages, Angie's Lists, Yelp, which is horrible to do it on. And oh my gosh, it's very time consuming to do it on Yelp, but we do them. Apple Maps, Bing, Yahoo, all of the directories that are in your space. And then your niche places where in your space, you're going to have special industry magazines or Chamber of Commerce. Like I said, Better Business Bureau. Those are all going to be citations. And those just go on forever. Like you're just never going to run out of places to do citations. And if you ever did, that means your niche is way too small. And if that's the case, then we just invent more places to add citations. But you'll never run out, because alone just in social media, I think there's 600 social media platforms out there in the world that you could be using to do a citation on. Okay, so Google is looking for brand mentions in places that are not owned by you and that are not on your website. And this is hard for all of us that have learned SEO and have been around. If you're new, this is okay for you, because this is all you know, is what you're learning today. But for people like Mary and myself and Stephanie and people on this call that have been around for a long time, we were all taught that we don't want anything off of our websites. Everything needs to be on our websites. And it's totally the opposite now. So we do a lot of vertical SEO now, which just means I don't care where I show up, as long as it's me. So even if it's my YouTube channel or a YouTube video or an image or a slideshow or a Twitter, tweet, or what, it doesn't matter to me. At Pinterest, my Pinterest shows up for a search. I don't care what it is, as long as it's me. And the thing is that those vertical places where you can have your brand mentions on and have content on, those places have a lot of clout with Google, right? Because they don't know you. Your little tiny site is nothing to them. It's like a little less than a flea, right? Compared to Pinterest, right? Or less than a flea compared to Zillow if you're in the real estate space, or even Pinterest then again. So, whatever space you're in, I am sure you don't have the authority compared to the big boys, all right, in that space. Press release is very important to do to establish authoritativeness. Have someone write a story about you. That's another way. Have someone else write about you, how they know you and how they met you, and how you work together or whatever, something like that. And then get published in periodicals, newspapers, industry sites, whatever you can find. Now, you don't have to do this every day or all the time. A press release, we do some for people like once a month, some people once every 3 months, and some people might only need it once every 6 months. And so, that's that. Some of these you don't need like all the time. You only need one person or two people to write a story about you. You only need to write 1 or 2 articles that can be published in periodicals, things like that. But always remember to use your correct formula like I taught you. Add an editorial policy to your website. Okay, so just Google editorial policies and figure out what you want to say on your website about having an editorial policy. And then go and join HARO, which stands for Help a Reporter Out. Go ahead and go join them. And you just probably need the free version to do anything like what we're talking about. There's a paid version to have a higher level or whatever, but I don't think most of us need that. And so you can join HARO and offer to help reporters in your topic. And then also look for reporters that are looking for your topic and offer to help them. Link to EDU sites. Even if you can't get a backlink from an EDU site to you, you can most likely, you're linking to EDU sites shows that you have authoritativeness. I'm sorry. It shows that you have authoritativeness because then Google thinks that you're actually doing research, right? Link to government sites when you can, if it's appropriate, So let's say you're an owner of a company and you employ a lot of people. Maybe you're staffing, you employ a lot of people, you have a lot of staff, and maybe you have to comply with OSHA rules, and you're going to talk in your blog or on your website about what some of those rules are. So you could link to the OSHA department, right? On that page where maybe it talks about the specific thing you're talking about. Have your friends, family members, anyone you know, do a brand name and authorship searches on Google. You can't get enough of these. Now, if you're one of our clients, once our Google local guides are all approved as Google local guides, it's a long process because they have to do a certain amount of things on Google before they can apply to be a Google guide. And then once they're approved, we're pretty much safe that they'll never get banned. And then once we have all of these Google guides, we're going to have like 20, I think we have 25, maybe we have 50 Google guides that we're building. Once those are all built, hopefully they'll all be built in the next couple of months, they can also go and do these tasks for you. But what you want to do is just ask as many people as possible. Hey, can you type my name into Google? Hey, can you take my company name into Google? Hey, can you type my name plus my niche into Google? Whatever you can do to get more and more people to actually type it up into the Google browser, into Chrome, Safari, or Firefox. Make sure you should not be using Internet Explorer anymore if you're on the internet, so hopefully you're not. Make sure, though, that when you do that with those, that you're not in private mode browsing because you want Google to actually count it and recognize it, etc. But have people do that as much as possible because direct typing, I go over this in the last webinar, maybe it was my SEO update. But when someone types your name directly into the search engine to look for you, that is the strongest signal to Google that you are authoritative. That is the strongest. It's also the best way to get Google juice because Google's like, wow, somebody actually typed them in. That means they didn't find them on the internet. And that means that they must be really good people. All right. Ned, you're asking what is schema? It's a special kind of code. It's called JSON code, and it's a special kind of code that shows up. And so let's say, I know I believe you're in real estate. And so if you do a search and you might come up with a schema markup, you might come up with the website and then underneath it, like open houses today, that would be schema markup. Okay. Now, the next one is trustworthiness. So trustworthiness is the other piece of EAT. Remember, it's 3 things. So how do we get trustworthiness on our website? Number one way is with reviews. So what you want to do is you want to have a reviews or testimonial page, and you want to put all your reviews, as many as you can there, as many as you can. Now, in my space, like with my husband in his real estate business, our clients or the people that we work with, they're older, and so they typically won't go on Google and write a review. And they won't go to other places and write them, but they will email them to us. So they'll email us these beautiful testimonials. So what we do is we take a screenshot of that, put it on as a picture, but then we type it all out because Google's not going to crawl the words in the picture, right? So then we're going to type it all out in there as well. So we have evidence that it was a real testimonial. We didn't make it up. And then we have, and then we have the words that Google can crawl. So that establishes trustworthiness. The other thing is the best kind of reviews you can get are video reviews. So anytime you can get a customer to give you a video review is amazing, a client or customer, and then put that on your reviews page. Very huge, and on your YouTube channel. Don't go to private places. Don't go to Vimeo. Don't go to Motion, whatever they're called. Go to YouTube, okay, and put your reviews on YouTube, on your channel on YouTube. You want to make sure that, again, the contact information is all over your website, because Google believes that spammers and scammers don't do that. So if you don't have it, Google automatically assumes that you're a scammer or a spammer. So make sure you understand that. I get a lot of resistance from people who say, oh, I don't want people to find me. I don't want them to come to my house and blah, 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 because most of us work from home. Well, I will tell you, I've never had anyone come to my house, and I've been on Google local maps and in the top spaces. So I'm not saying you can't find me. My businesses have been in the top 3 sandwich since they started with Google. We were like one of the first ones on the map. And this is back in 2006, I think, 5 or something. And we were getting all kinds of awards for being there, doing so well on Google Local. So, and no one's ever come to my house. And we were shown, like all over the world. It was just amazing, the kind of SEO I was getting for that. You have to make sure you have a terms and condition page. Make sure you have that. Make sure you have a privacy page. Make sure you have a disclaimer page, okay? And then go get reviews on other sites. So people that are in real estate, that's easy. You get them on Zillow, but you get them on Google My Business. Get them on Yelp. Yelp doesn't show them, so it's kind of a waste of time, but put them there anyway, or maybe you can, I don't know. It depends on your market and where you're at. If you're in California, Yelp is much more important than if you're in Florida. So if it is important in your area to really market yourself on Yelp, you might have to consider paying those creeps, extortionists, some money just to show your reviews. It's just, I'm sorry, but it's horrible. I cannot stand that company. Then link those pages to your about pages, not to your home page. Again, always link to your about page. And don't feel bad about this, because a lot of people say to me, yeah, but if I link to my about page, then the reader is, they're just going to jump off my website. And that's not true, because the number one page that is clicked on when someone lands on your home page, the number one page that's linked on is your about page. So it's okay if they land on your about page. They're going to go there anyways, right? This way, maybe hopefully they'll click on another link and maybe go to your reviews page, or go to your, your products page, or whatever it is. If you are a realtor, we have a review site that we are building for our agent, for those that are our clients who are in the real estate space. That we are building. I'm building this website, and it's a .org, so it's going to have a lot of value to Google. And we are going to start putting reviews about the agents on the site, which will give just one more place to get outside reviews from that we have full control over. So like no one could ever put a bad review on there, in other words, right? If you're a chiropractor, we also have a chiropractic review website. So we're going to start to build that out. We also have many, like I told you, many Google guide profiles that we're building who can leave you Google reviews. They also can take your client reviews of your older clients who won't go onto Google and create a persona and then leave the review. That's actually a real review, but that person just doesn't want to do it themselves. Make sure you have SSL on your website. Now, for ages, I said, and I was right, was that SSL does not affect SEO, even though Google says it does. It still does not affect SEO, okay? But because of YMYL, Google is saying, well, if you have SSL on your site, you're more trustworthy than someone who doesn't. But it doesn't affect your rankings, so to speak, okay? Even though they've been saying, I think they've been saying now, it's been like almost 3 years that Google's been pushing this. Now you can get it for free. So before it was very expensive. When it first started, it was like astronomically expensive. So we just didn't do it, and we didn't see any drop in our traffic or anything. But now it's free. So there's no reason not to do it. If you're on Bluehost as your host and on a WordPress website, it's totally free to get your SSL certificate. Get rid of old HTML content on your sites that looks ancient. You want to get rid of that stuff. Profile photo, remember we talked about that before. It needs to be real, needs to be you, needs to be authentic. Make sure you mark it too, like I told you, title it with your name and your brand, and write original photo so Google knows. And then again, I said nap on every page, and a great way to do that is putting your nap in your footer. If your footer is across all pages, then that's a good way to do it, right? Make sure you have a refund and return policy no matter what space you're in, because a lot of spaces there isn't a reason to have a refund and return policy, but the AI doesn't know that yet. So make sure you just put a little thing, refund and return policy, and then say this does not apply to this website or anything on this website, something like that. If it does, then say what it is. And it should be on your website, not just on your cart page. If you're in e-commerce or you're selling products and people shop and go to a cart, then it can't be just on your cart. It has to be on your site. The other thing to do to create trust is to create a page or a block. So if you just have, let's say you have just a simple few page website, maybe you have just a blog page, a resource page, the pages I mentioned that you have to have, and then a home page, and that's all you really have. Then you don't have to create a fact page. You can create it right on your home page. Or yeah, I think that's the best place, on your home page. And you can get, if you're with Thrive, I use Thrive. And if you have Thrive, then you can just use Thrive Architect's little block that's for facts. It's really easy to type it in. It's already all designed for you. It's great. So create a facts page. And then testimonial page. Remember, we talked about the reviews page, but you also want to add videos to that page and add videos to your YouTube channel, like we talked about. And then make sure you have a Google My Business page, even if you're not local. So even if you're a global business, you can still have a Google My Business page. So Google is watching, be actively involved in Google My Business, because it's not a one-time task. It's going to keep going on forever and ever, just like blogging. It's never going to stop. You get to post on it. You get to add videos to it. You get to build a free website on it. There's so many things you can do with it. And Google needs to see you continuously doing that every single week, that you're doing that, being active. That's going to help them take notice of you, because what tends to happen is if they show you up if you're local and they show you up in the 3-pack on the map, most likely they're also going to have your website up in the top 5. So it helps you two ways. Like my chiropractor, he's on the map. And then also we have his website in the number 1 and number 2 spot all the time. So it doesn't matter how people see him. They're going to see him in 2 places, plus on the right side. And they're going to have no choice but to click for directions or click to call to make an appointment. Blogging. You got to be blogging. You have to be adding continual content all the time. Blogging still works. It's not dead, anything like that. It helps to build your brand, your authorship, and it inspires user experiences. It's very good for user experiences. And I'm not going to go into everything about that, because I went through that, what kind of content you need to have, how your blog has to look now moving forward. That was in my last webinar. So the recommended course that I do not have a class in the blogging course. I have SEO courses, things like that. But if you are a do-it-yourself blogger and you're not going to hire anyone to do this for you, then go to this course. This is my favorite course. I am in it. All of my VAs take it. And I absolutely, it's really the best blogging course out there. So just go to delegatemytask.com/blogging ranks. The program is like $495. I think I paid for it. It is worth more than $2,000. I would be selling that course for $2,000 and I would get it all day long. That's how good the course is. So it actually takes you step by step exactly how to do your keyword analysis today, because you don't go to Keyword Tool. You don't go to Keyword Planner anymore. That's old school. You don't do that anymore because Google's not giving you the correct information since all the privacy laws came into effect. Okay, so Jeff asks, what about adding the API from your Google and Yelp reviews? Yes, you can do that as well. Definitely do that, but I wouldn't take up my whole page with that. You know what I mean? I would want to intermix it. So maybe that could be like a specialty widget. I know Thrive allows you to have clever widgets, which means you can put them wherever you want. Maybe you could have it, somewhere running on the, having a 2-column page or something like a blog page, and have your written ones on one side, the ones that you type or whatever, and then the ones that are coming in through the feed, you could do that maybe that way. So anyway, go take that course if you're a do-it-yourselfer. If you're not, then make sure that you hire us to do it for you. We have a Jumpstart package, which you get for, our fee is $10 an hour, and you can buy 100 hours at one time, called the Jumpstart package. And that would be at delegatemytasks.com/jumpstart. Or most people just order blocks of time, and we have a 20 hours a week minimum order to get everything done. And we can do a lot more than blogging, of course, for you. As you could see, we could do all of these things for you. And we also have a blogging service where if you just want to buy the posts, and you have to buy them in packages of 10. So we will get you the link for that if that's what you're interested in. Our Google My Business services, if you're not a regular client, like a 20-hour-a-week client or more, if you're not full-time or part-time with us, then our Google My Business services are $8.97 a month, and they're very extensive. And you can ask me, I can send you the link that explains everything that you get done for that. It's just phenomenal what you get. And press release services, we do offer them for $124 per press release. So that's including writing your press release, you giving us what you want us to write about, and then the VA writes your press release, and then we send it out through a submission service to get you the link backs. Okay. If you have any questions or you'd like to talk to me, just text me. That's the easiest way. Sending me an email is hard because I get thousands of emails a day from people who need my help, etc. And I just can't get to them all. So I do have a VA who sorts through emails, but we do miss them. So please text me. It's a lot faster, or Facebook message me. I'm always on, my Facebook Messenger is always open. If you're in Europe, I'm in WhatsApp, but my WhatsApp isn't always open. So if you Facebook Messenger say you would rather me talk to you on WhatsApp, I can do that. But if you're in a country that allows Facebook, Facebook phone calls, that's fine. I can do that. Or I'll just call you from my cell phone if you're in the United States. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask those questions. We've been on for a little bit more than an hour. I'm not going to count. There was like a 10 minutes where we waited, and then there was like another couple minutes where people were having issues finding the content. So let me know if you have any questions right now so I can get those answered before we shut down the live stream. Hopefully my sound was fine, because this is my new Apple MacBook Pro. Well, it's almost a year old now. And I forgot to plug in my Yeti microphone. So that was interesting that I forgot to do that. But hopefully my sound was good. Any questions? Okay, so we're waiting. I know we had questions during, I'm going to just scroll up here, but I think I got everybody. As it's really nice. This eCam product is really nice because I can see them. Thank you, Mary. Very nice. Thank you very much. Thank you, Debbie. I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that we can get this ironed out for the next webinar. I think we will. And just go directly to YouTube next time. So next time when you register, the link that you'll get will be a link to YouTube. And that way we'll bypass the page, because it looks like YouTube doesn't like to do that anymore. It figures. They're always changing things too. They're owned by Google, of course. If you noticed another change, I don't know if you guys have been on your YouTube channel lately, but the other change they made was they merged YouTube and Google. So now your YouTube channel is part of your Google suite of products, so to speak. So like your Google account is your YouTube account now. And I hate that, because what happens is if Google comes and suspends your YouTube, they're going to suspend your Google account. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of scary, because I run my entire business on Google. How that's going to be kind of scary if they took all that away. But then I read, when I was in the forums and reading about it, they did say you can access, you just won't be able to post or something like that. So I'm not sure, how they're going to handle that and I haven't heard from anybody who it's happened to. But those kind of things happen even by mistake. So it's I will tell you, I always upload my videos to YouTube, but I also upload them to Google Drive because I want to have them in the cloud But now because they said that, I'm uploading my videos to iCloud. So I just have them go right from my computer to iCloud where Google can't touch them, so that my backup is in iCloud. And you can also get like, a drive, a flash drive or whatever to put your videos on. But make sure you have a backup of your videos before, when you upload them to YouTube. The worst thing is when you lose everything. It's horrible. I had a virus attack on one of my websites one time, and there was nothing we could do to save the data. All my pages that I had written, it was all gone. It was so bad. It was so sad. I have to start all over again. But that's, that's part of being on the internet. You have all kinds of risks that you take, and but I think we win more than we lose, so it's great. All right, so I guess we're finished. I don't see any other questions. And after I close this, I believe if you just stay on for a minute, I believe you can see the video right away, and you can grab that link and put it in your notes on your computer or whatever, so you can keep that, so you can come back and reference this more than once. You might want to take a screenshot of one of the slides so you can create yourself a little checklist or something like that. Okay. So I appreciate everybody being here, and I will talk to you next time.